In the heart of a dusty African village, there lived a man named Juma, whose hunger for wealth was stronger than his love for life itself. Juma was not born cruel. Poverty had shaped him into something unrecognizable. Every day, he watched rich traders ride past his small hut, wearing gold chains, driving shiny cars, their laughter echoing like thunder while he struggled to afford a single meal. His wife Amina was the only light in his dark world, kind, loyal, and deeply in love with him despite their endless hunger. But Juma's greed whispered louder than her affection. One fateful day, a wealthy businessman arrived in the village searching for workers. His car glistened under the sun, his words dripped with honey, and his pockets overflowed with money. Juma saw his chance. The man noticed Amina's beauty and joked, "You have a wife fit for a king." Juma smiled awkwardly, but in his heart, a dangerous thought was born. That night, as Amina cooked porridge over the small fire, Juma sat silently, his mind spinning like a storm. How much was love worth? Could he trade his sorrow for silver? The next morning greed won. Juma approached the businessman and with trembling words offered to sell his wife as a house servant for a lifetime. The businessman laughed, thinking it was a joke, but Juma was serious. He begged for money, promising that Amina would obey and serve faithfully. Shocked but intrigued, the businessman agreed and handed Juma a bag filled with cash. That evening, when Juma told Amina she was being sent away to work, her eyes filled with tears. "You're sending me away." "For money?" she whispered, her voice shaking. But Juma didn't look at her. He couldn't. He convinced himself it was for survival, not betrayal. As the businessman's car disappeared into the horizon, Amina looked back one last time, her heart breaking into silence. Juma stared at the money in his hands. It glittered like sin. For a few weeks he felt powerful. He bought new clothes, drank wine, and walked around proudly. But soon, loneliness crept in. His hut felt emptier than ever. The money began to vanish as quickly as it came. And with every coin spent, guilt grew heavier in his heart. Villagers began to whisper, "He sold his wife for riches." Children pointed at him, calling him cursed. Juma tried to ignore them, but every night he dreamed of Amina's face, her eyes begging him to undo what he had done. One day, the businessman returned, this time without his usual smile. He looked pale, nervous. Juma asked, "Where is my wife?" The man replied with trembling lips, "She left." Juma's stomach dropped. The businessman explained that Amina had run away after saving his daughter from a house fire. "She risked her life to save my child," he said, "and then she disappeared into the night." Juma's knees gave way. He realized that the woman he had sold for gold had a heart made of something far more precious. Regret burned through his soul like fire. He tried to find her, traveling from village to village, asking strangers, visiting temples, praying at every crossroad. Seasons changed, but Amina was nowhere to be found. He spent the rest of his money searching, sleeping on the roads she might have walked. One evening, exhausted and barefoot, he collapsed beside an old well, crying for forgiveness into the dust. That night, for the first time in years, he had nothing. No wife, no money, no pride, only guilt. Months passed, and Juma became a shadow of himself. The villagers no longer mocked him. They pitied him. He wandered through markets begging for food, a broken man who once believed he could buy happiness. But destiny had other plans. One afternoon, a caravan stopped near the same well where Juma had last cried. Out stepped a woman dressed modestly yet glowing with quiet strength. It was Amina. She had returned. though not as the same woman he once knew. After escaping the businessman's house, she had walked miles, helping the poor, teaching children, and working in an orphanage run by kind strangers who treated her like family. Life had given her purpose beyond pain. When she saw Juma lying weak under a tree, her heart trembled. She could have turned away. She could have walked past and let him suffer the fate he chose. But her soul was too gentle. She knelt beside him, offered him water, and softly said, "I forgive you." Juma looked up, unable to speak. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered, "I don't deserve you." She smiled faintly. None of us deserve mercy, but it's what makes us human. They sat in silence as the wind carried away years of regret. Amina took him to the orphanage, where she had built a small but peaceful life. There, Juma began working, repairing walls, fetching water, helping with the children. Slowly he started to heal, not just from poverty but from the sickness of greed. He learned that love cannot be sold, that true wealth lives in compassion. The same hands that once held money now held hope. Over time, the villagers who once mocked him came to respect him again. They saw how Amina's forgiveness had transformed him. Together, they rebuilt their lives, not in luxury, but in peace. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Juma whispered, "I was once rich in money but poor in soul. Now I am poor in gold but rich in love." Amina smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. The story of the man who sold his wife spread across villages as a lesson, not of shame but redemption. Parents told their children about Juma, the man who traded love for greed and learned too late what true riches meant. And so, destiny, which once took everything from him, gave him something priceless in return, a second chance. Because in life, money may fill your hands, but only love fills your heart. And so, my friends, remember, greed can make you rich, but only love can make you whole. Never trade hearts for gold, for the cost is always your soul. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to African Folktales Official for more stories that touch the heart. Bye.